My name is Vargas. I'm at the Department of Energy. I oversee the C3E initiative for DOE, and I'm thrilled to be here. Not only because the awardees are my favorite part of today, but because this category in technology, innovation, and research is something so near and dear to DOE's DNA and the work that we do in the market. So it is my honor to introduce Dr. Shirley Meng. I'm going to tell you a little bit about Shirley. Shirley was educated in Singapore, and then she came to the United States for her graduate work and did that at MIT. She is a pioneering scientist focusing primarily on energy storage materials and systems, including rechargeable batteries for cars, trucks, the internet, all sorts of things. Her doctoral work, she dumbed it down for me, was on how to use computers to design better battery materials. She was at UC San Diego for about 12 years and is now on a joint appointment to the University of Chicago, where she is part of the, where she's a professor at the Pritzker School of Molecular Engineering. But she's also the other part of the joint is that she is at Argonne National Lab, and she is leading Argonne's lab. I have to read this because it's a lot of polysyllabic words. Argonne National Lab's Collaborative Center for Energy Storage Science. And in talking to Dr. Meng, she was sort of saying that she is so excited about this opportunity. You're going to hear this from her. You're going to get the enthusiasm, because not only is it the opportunity of a lifetime, it's going to be challenging. She knows that, but it's an opportunity to develop not only a dream team, but work with some of the world's best tools, if not the world's best tools, of the national lab. So I'm very excited to bring her up here in a minute, but I just want to give her a shout out. Lest you think that Shirley's a geek. So she may be a little bit of that pioneering science, real nerd, but her social media game is real. She has 10,000 followers on Twitter. So she gets that the science is important, the innovation, the technology is important, but communicating about that and being a role model in the marketplace is equally important to the work she's doing. So with all of that, you can see why she is this year's C3E award winner in technology, research, and innovation. And with that, Shirley, please come up and get you.
No, you take it. You take it.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
You can have the podium.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it will work. Thank you so much. So, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I'm so thrilled to be here today, surrounded by people who devote their career to empower women, to enable energy transition, and make the world a better place. I'm truly honored to get this award because it's indeed a recognition for all my students and the postdoc in the Laboratory of Energy Storage and Conversion, which I established in UC San Diego about 12 years ago. So far, I've graduated over 50 PhD students and postdocs, and many more undergrad and the master trained in my lab. Proud to say, as the world moving towards electrification of everything, I trust that my students are making a positive impact in both industry and academia. And even more, some of them are actually have already started their own companies that are creating jobs in local communities. So I'm so proud of them, and I'm privileged to be their mentor and teacher. So this award is really for them. I, as an immigrant from Singapore, received the best education in Massachusetts Institute of Technology. And not only that, I met my lifetime partner, Professor Grant Elliott, in Boston. I have to give my sincere gratitude to my husband and my 13-year-old boy, Jason, because without them, they are really my biggest supporters. I think my husband not only share the wisdom of economics professor, but also he feed me so many good meals after very long meetings and experiments. So like Valerie said, you know, the glass door, I think I cracked open that one. And I want to say, you know, my late father, who was a civil engineer who devoted his life for building hydroelectric dam in China. He never got opportunity to pursue his PhD because of the Cultural Revolution started when he graduated from Tsinghua University. When I was 7 years old, the first book he gave me is 100 Stories of Nobel Laureates, talking about Asian parents. But I noticed there is only one lady among the 99 men, that's Madame Maria Curie. And her fearlessness has guided my way to be a scientist. Nothing is to be feared of, but to be understood. I would say during my journey as a scientist, I met many great mentors and teachers. One particular I want to mention is in 2005 in Boston MIS, Materials Research Society meeting, I met this gentleman, Professor Stanley Whittingham, who just came to me to talk with me after my student presentation. He was the Nobel laureate in 2019 for inventing the lithium batteries. I have had the decades of working with him under the Department of Energy Frontier Research Center. And I want to really emphasize the importance of having good mentors and having good guidance on the career trajectory. And I pledge moving forward, I will hope that I take the similar role for the younger generation of scientists and engineers. So ladies and gentlemen, I think the world is at its critical moment. On one hand, we have to decarbonize as soon as possible with existing technologies, wind, solar, fusion, batteries. On the other hand, I think as we finally got all the governments and industry to get on board for electrification, we have run into the unprecedented problems of supply chain problem. Not just the supply chain of critical materials, but supply chain of talents. So at the first glance, it might look really daunting task that we are, running out of time. The clock is ticking. But as a scientist and engineer, I have to say, I hear my calling. This is really the moment that the vision for me is crystal clear, that we have to keep innovating. And as the people who work in the battery field, we delivered a 10 times reduction in cost and over 1 terawatt-hour world production capacity. I want to say in the next decade, you're going to see for grid storage, we're going to make batteries that are critical materials free. No lithium, no nickel, not even copper. We are going to actually make batteries that can last for decades, not only for years, for decades, so that we can make batteries the true assets of our society. And they must be made with green electrons, 100% recyclable, and most importantly, we have to make batteries ultra safe. So you feel like you put a battery at home, it's just like a refrigerator for your electrons. And for transportation, I want to say to Sunita, for hydrogen folks, we're going to work hand in hand together to decarbonize the heavy-duty trucks, the trains, the ships, the most difficult sectors. So yeah, let's be quite clear that all these efforts, battery technologies, really need both fundamental research breakthroughs as well as applied research for integration and scaling. And I think since 1990s, I know that DOE has been supporting both efforts. And today, the big difference is that we brought all the private sectors on board to work together. So let's keep the momentum going. So now as I take the dual role as a professor and also the chief scientist for Argonne's Collaborative Center for Energy Storage Science, short name, acronym ACCESS. Yeah. So I will devote my next decade to build an innovation ecosystem where we train the best next generation workforce to foster meaningful relationships with industry, private sectors, both domestic and international, and to make the needed energy storage breakthroughs for the decade to come. So you are my witness for the pledge today, and I also ask your hands to collaborate together to make it happen. So with that, thank you again, C3E, for the